first thing I want to show you before we get into that is the Howey test. And the reason why it's important is because this test is actually used to classify anything as a security. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be money. There's been a lot of cases where people were selling contracts and reclassified as securities. Basically, it's a very broad test, and we can dive deeper into it because they have more information specifically made for digital currencies. But this is the original test. Let's read it really quickly. So basically, it classifies as a security if it is an investment of money. 2, there is an expectation of profits from the investment. 3, the investment of money is common enterprise. 4, any profit comes from the efforts of a promoter or third party. Again, like I said, this is a very vague explanation. And really quickly, guys, I am not a lawyer. Some of this might be incorrect. I want you guys to follow it back up with your own research. I'm human, just like anybody else. And I just want to be very clear. None of this is financial advice, and I am not a lawyer. I'm just going to refer you to the resources so you can dive into it for yourself. And then I'm going to give you my personal opinion. It's so obvious. Like, you don't need to be a lawyer to know if you should be invested in XRP. And I'll give you my personal opinion on what I actually think, because it could be a money-making opportunity. Ripple can like 200, 300%. It's so far below. It can even, 20, 30x. So we have to look at this in a very serious manner, right? Exactly what's going on. So let's go to an actual framework. Okay, this is the framework for digital assets specifically. Now, you guys, I read it for, again, like my research purposes, but let's go over the Howey test one more time. So this is very specific here. A, the investment of money. The first prong of a Howey test is typically satisfied in an offer and sale of a digital asset because that digital asset is purchased or otherwise acquired in exchange for value, whether in the form of a real or fiat currency, another digital asset, or other type of consideration. So essentially what they're saying there is, did somebody accept a form of payment for XRP tokens? The answer is yes. I don't have to argue with anybody on that. The original owners of XRP own the vast majority of the supply. They gave it to exchanges, which they, exchanged it for Bitcoin, Ethereum. You could have bought XRP with any digital asset. And they're explaining there that it doesn't have to be like fiat currencies. It could be, another exchange of value. And this is a clear yes. I'm sure they won't even argue with this. So this is the part that we're not really arguing about, at least in this lawsuit, right? So let's move on to the next one. B, common enterprise. Now, this is going to be a little bit harder to come to a conclusion on, but if you understand the consensus mechanism and how centralized it is, we'll go over it. So courts generally have analyzed a common enterprise as a distinct element of an investment contract. In evaluating digital assets, we have found that a common enterprise typically exists. So if we look at it, for example, let me just give you a brief explanation. If XRP is centralized in one way or another, and Ripple has a take in that centralization, essentially, if you take down Ripple Labs, then there goes XRP. And this will be considered common enterprise. On the flip side, in Bitcoin, for example, if all the big, mining facilities and nodes were taken down by government authority or something, like let's say, somebody comes and takes down all the major networks of Bitcoin. Is it common enterprise? Are you going to take down Bitcoin? No, it's a peer-to-peer technology, fully decentralized. At that point, it will make it profitable for a person like me to mine Bitcoin because all the big institutions, there's no more competition anymore. I would simply turn my graphics card on or an ASIC miner or a computer and start mining Bitcoin. Now, you could do the same thing with XRP, but what the problem is, and where people don't understand, the incentivized model doesn't favor other people. It doesn't favor decentralization. The way they pay people and incentivize people is very centralized. Let me explain more. So if we go into the history of Google, not just the front page that you see in 2020, these guys are great with SEO. If you don't believe me, go research and read a book. Trust me, I'm lying. It's really, really important that you guys understand how to research things properly. If you're not researching things properly, you will be misled consistently, and you will lose out on your investments. There is a whole framework for just looking up the correct articles and backing your research up with credibility. If you don't do that, I highly suggest that you guys find some type of system. I have created a system for you, so you can go ahead and check out my website, thefundamentalsecrets.com. The link is in the description below. If you want just to, take the guesswork out of all this research, because I know it can be misleading. There's a lot of smart people misleading people on the internet. Guys, I make a framework for you. My goal is not to tell you what to do. My goal is to provide you with something that's going to get you to the truth. And that's what I've done for you. So go ahead, again, to the link in the description below, thefundamentalsecrets.com. All you have to do is click the apply button, and my coach will reach out to you, and then he'll show you if that's a right fit for you.